Good girl. Hmm? You ready to move to St. Louis, buddy? What? What?
What most people know about Joanne Higgins, they learn very quickly. She enjoys a great craft beer, likes to cook, and is really good at it. Loves her rescue pup, Nikki. And she's incredibly funny, not taking any of it too seriously. But for those lucky few who get to know more of her story, there is a lifetime of lessons that Jo can teach. Not with words, but with how she has handled some tough situations. Growing up in a predominantly Italian neighborhood in St. Louis, big families were the norm.
Always had lots of cousins, and my mom has 16 siblings, and she's the youngest of 16, and then my dad had 13, and he was the youngest of 13, so two babies of the family, and so I had cousins everywhere I went, there were cousins, and it was a joke among my friends, just like, it just was a matter of time before I ran into a cousin. It didn't matter where I went.
As a blue-collar worker raising 5 kids, Jo's family learned about sacrifice and what was really valuable in life.
My dad was a blue-collar worker and very smart guy. He probably could have done a lot more if he didn't have a lot of brass to support. But I'm sure he didn't make gazillion dollars, but I mean they put us through Catholic school and grade school and high school. So I mean 5 kids, it was a lot, and I have to give my mom credit for that. So my poor dad, who probably got 1 week vacation, pack it up and take everybody out to Colorado and camping. It's like, ooh, I'm sure that was a real vacation for him with 5 people, kids in the back and screaming, and how many times can one say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? So, yeah, we had fun. We didn't know we were poor. I mean, we were piss poor. I mean, knowing what I did do now and knowing, some of the struggles they went through. I mean, my mom, I remember having popcorn and milk actually she made this thing that she put popcorn in milk, and that was dinner sometimes, that was lunch. It's like, and she did a little dance with popcorn in those days. You didn't have microwaves, so you heat up the oil in a pan, and you put the kernels in, and she'd do a little popcorn dance, and we all do a little popcorn dance, and we didn't know we were in popcorn because we were poor. We just we thought it was fun. We thought nobody else gets to eat popcorn.
Even if you're intelligent yourself, it can be difficult being raised in a family of smart people. Jo's sister, older by 16 months and a future member of the genius group Mensa, was very successful in school.
And so, I come along and I'm kind of more of a socialite there, and didn't quite get the studying part, and just kind of squeaked by. And I may have been in the party crowd too much. I was an athlete and a party person, so should have taken advantage.
Then, still a teenager, one of the biggest and best surprises, Jo learned she would become a mom.
I was 18 years old, so I was, it was definitely not planned. So,
She married baby Kim's father, but the lessons she learned from her family made her realize what she needed to do.
Number one, he didn't work, and I was the breadwinner of 2, and for the fact that he was physically and emotionally abusive, but probably foremost, and I guess the determining factor was like, I didn't grow up in a household like this, and thankfully, that's when things are so cyclical. If you did grow up in something like that, that you don't know anything else, And the fact that I knew better, my dad never laid a hand on me growing up, and so I certainly wasn't going to let that continue. And plus I had a daughter. I wasn't going to let, there's no way that I could have let her grow up in that environment.
And now, little baby Kim is all grown up, with 3 children of her own. And they don't let Granny Jo get away with anything.
It was funny because one night I was reading to her and I may have been really tired and I skipped a page and I got busted. I got busted for skipping a page. Granny Jo, you skipped over a page. Oh, how did that ever happen? So.
But even now, as she prepares to move back to St. Louis to assume full-time responsibilities as Granny Jo, she still draws from the wisdom he left behind.
And he always just said everything's going to be all right. And you know, whenever I start worrying about things, it's almost like I hear him like, you know, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. So, I mean, I think it's not exactly a mantra, but you just know things are going to work out. Don't worry.